Letting go with strength, Stoic rule number 1. Accept. What's out of your hands? There's a moment in every heartbreak when silence feels louder than words. You replay the good memories, hoping one day they'll care again. But deep down, you know it's over. And yet you stained because you're weak, but because you once loved with everything you had. The Stoics remind us love is not a chain. It's a teacher. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That truth can change how you face heartbreak. You cannot control how someone feels about you. You can't force them to stay. You can't rewrite their choices. But you can control what you tell yourself about it. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's the beginning of peace. Giving up is when you lose faith in life. Acceptance is when you stop fighting a battle that was never yours to win. When you cling to someone who's already gone, it's like holding a burning rope. The tighter you grip, the deeper you get hurt. The moment you release it, pain turns into wisdom. Think of a tree in autumn. It doesn't beg the leaves to stay. It lets them go, because letting go is part of growth. You are not losing love. You are shedding attachment. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from events, but from our judgment about them." Heartbreak hurts not because they left, but because of the story you tell yourself about what their leaving means. Maybe it means you're not enough. Maybe it means you failed. No, it means life is asking you to evolve. Ask yourself, why am I still trying to control what's no longer mine? Is it fear of being alone? Is it the illusion that closure will heal me? Because the more you try to hold on, the more you lose yourself. Seneca wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." So breathe. Accept what's out of your hands. You're not meant to fix the past. You're meant to rise from it. Let this be your turning point, not when they come back, but when you finally come home to yourself. Stoic rule number 2. Stop romanticizing what hurt you after a breakup. The mind plays tricks. It replays the laughter, the late-night talks, the warmth you once felt, tanned hides, the silence, the distance, the coldness that followed. It's not the person you miss. It's the idea of who you thought they were. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, if someone does wrong, it is because they do not know what is right. Often, the person we miss was not cruel. They were just unaware, unready, or unwilling to love at the depth we offered. But our hearts cling to the fantasy, not the reality. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When we romanticize what broke us, we are reacting through emotion, not wisdom. We polish the pain until it shines like love, but it's still pain. Think of someone who returns to an old wound, tracing its edges, refusing to let it heal. That's what memory does when we glorify what hurt us. We turn the past into a shrine, but no one lives there anymore. You can honor what was without worshiping it. Real love should make you grow, not shrink. Seneca said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." His point. Pain is inevitable, but we don't have to make it sacred. Be honest with yourself. Are you missing the person or the comfort of the familiar? Are you longing for love or for the story you built around them? Letting go doesn't mean bitterness. It means clarity. It means removing the filter that turns pain into beauty and seeing things as they truly were. When you do, the illusion fades and truth finally has room to breathe. You can't heal while worshiping a ghost. So thank the memory, close the chapter, and step back into reality, the only place where love can grow again. Stoic rule number 3. Create distance to regain clarity. When emotions are fresh, staying close keeps the wound open. You can't heal in the same space that broke you. It's like trying to dry your clothes in the rain. You stay soaked in the very storm you're trying to escape. Marcus Aurelius said, "You must build your life action by action, but you can't rebuild while your mind still orbits around someone else's gravity." Detachment begins not with indifference, but with distance. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Distance helps you regain that mastery. When you step back, you stop reacting to their silence, their updates, their absence. You stop giving them space in your mind that belongs to your peace. Think of your mind as a room. As long as their memory sits in the center, there's no room for calm or clarity. But when you open the windows, when you let the air of distance in, the noise settles in for the first time. You can hear yourself again. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." How much time have you spent checking their social media, rereading old texts, wondering if they still care? Every glance backward robs you of the present moment where healing lives. Creating distance isn't punishment. It's protection. It's choosing silence over obsession, solitude over chaos. You don't block them to prove a point. You do it to protect your peace. Remember, clarity is born in space. The moment you stop chasing their attention, your energy returns to you. Step back not because you stopped caring, but because you finally care enough about yourself to come home to peace. Stoic rule number 4. Master your reactions. Not their behavior. We waste so much energy trying to decode other people, why they changed, why they pulled away, why they no longer care. But every minute spent analyzing them is a minute stolen from understanding ourselves. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You don't suffer because they moved on. You suffer because of the story you tell yourself about their silence. The power has never been in their actions. It's in your reaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed. You won't feel harmed." When they ignore you, you don't chase. When they post something that stings, you don't spiral. When they walk away, you don't make it mean you're unworthy. Their choices reveal them. Your reaction defines you. Think of emotional mastery like standing in the eye of a storm. The world spins with noise and confusion, yet you remain still. The Stoics didn't teach suppression, they taught observation. Feel everything, but don't become everything you feel. Seneca said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Every time you overreact, you hand over your peace to someone else. Your calm is your strength. Your restraint is your armor. So next time you feel that pull to react, pause. Ask yourself, does this action honor the person I'm becoming, or is it chasing someone who's already gone? Master yourself, and you'll never again be a prisoner to their chaos. True freedom begins the moment you stop trying to change them and start mastering your own response. Stoic rule number 5. Redefine love as something you give. Not chase. Most people see love as something to get, something that must be earned, kept, or proven. So when it's taken away, they feel empty, as if they've lost a piece of themselves. But true love, as the Stoics understood, was never about possession. It's about expression. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When your idea of love depends on someone else's attention, you lose control of your peace. Love is not about being chosen. It's about choosing to love with integrity, even when it's not returned. Epictetus taught, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Can't control whether someone values your heart, but you can control the purity of what you give. Love given freely, without demand, never diminishes you, it strengthens you. Think of sunlight. It shines regardless of who stands beneath it. It gives warmth without asking for anything back. That's how your love should be. You don't lose by giving. You lose by chasing what refuses to be held. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is content with himself." Real love doesn't beg to be seen, it radiates from a grounded soul. If they couldn't recognize your depth, it says nothing about your worth. It only means your light was too steady for their flicker. So don't chase love that drains you. Let your heart be generous, but never desperate. Love honestly, give fully, then walk away with peace. Because what you give in truth always returns in growth, in wisdom, and in the quiet dignity of self-respect. Stoic rule number 6. Don't confuse pain with connection. Pain can feel like proof that the bond still exists. You think, if it hurts this much, it must still mean something. But pain doesn't always equal love. It often signals resistance. You're not connected to them anymore. You're connected to the story you keep replaying. Epictetus said, "When something happens, The only thing in your power is your attitude toward it. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The moment you begin to see pain as information, not identity, you start to reclaim your freedom. Many people stay trapped not because love remains, but because pain feels familiar. They mistake the ache for attachment. But familiarity isn't love, it's habit. Like someone touching a scar just to remember what it felt like to bleed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself. But to your estimate of it, heartbreak lingers when you keep assigning meaning to the hurt, turning it into a monument instead of a memory." Seneca reminded us, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. When your thoughts constantly orbit around what's gone, you abandon the present moment, the only place peace can live. Letting go doesn't mean you never cared. It means you choose truth over emotion. Love that depends on pain isn't love, it's attachment to suffering. Honor the lesson, release the ache, and let healing begin. So when your heart tightens, don't ask, "Why does it still hurt?" Ask instead, "What is this pain trying to teach me?" Because when pain stops being your prison, it becomes your teacher and freedom follows. Stoic rule number 7. Focus on who you're becoming, not who you've lost when someone leaves. It often feels like they took your purpose with them. You grieve not just the person, but the version of yourself that existed when they were near. But healing begins the moment you stop looking backward and start asking, "Who am I becoming now?" Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The same truth applies to heartbreak. Don't dwell on what could have been. Build who you were meant to become. Pain strips away illusion. It reveals the parts of you that were quiet while you loved someone else. Maybe you stopped pursuing your goals. Maybe you silenced your needs to keep the peace. That wasn't love, it was self-abandonment. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." The end of a relationship is not the end of your story, it's the start of your evolution. Every disappointment carves space for a stronger, wiser version of you to emerge. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Use the energy you once gave away to rebuild yourself. Read again. Move again. Speak kindly to yourself. The smallest acts of growth are declarations. You are no longer waiting, you are living. You don't heal by chasing what's gone. You heal by investing in what remains your strength, your time, your purpose. The person who walked away was just a chapter. You are the entire book. Let this be the page where your new life begins. Stoic rule number 8. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable possession after someone leaves. It's tempting to leave the door open just in case they return. You keep one eye on their life, hoping for a message, a sign, anything. But every time you leave that door unlocked, you invite chaos into the place that should be sacred, your peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Peace isn't found in waiting for others. It's built in the quiet decisions you make every day. What you allow, what you tolerate, what you walk away from. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Protecting your peace often requires struggle. It's saying no to distractions, no to emotional games, no to reopening wounds that are finally healing. Think of peace like a fire. Every boundary you set adds warmth. Every time you check their updates or respond out of habit, it's like pouring cold water on that flame. You wonder why it's so hard to feel calm again. It's because you keep giving away the match. Epictetus reminded us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. True freedom is emotional independence. It means you stop letting others control the volume of your thoughts. Sometimes that means silence, sometimes distance, but always self-respect. Protect your peace fiercely. Not because you're bitter, but because you're finally healing. Your peace is not loud or dramatic, it's quiet, steady, and strong. It gives you back your mornings, your sleep, your clarity, and no one else can guard it for you, only you can. Stoic rule number 9. Don't seek closure from someone who couldn't give you clarity. We all crave that final talk, the one where everything makes sense, where they explain why they left, and you finally get peace. But as the Stoics taught, peace doesn't come from their answers. It comes from your decision to stop asking. Marcus Aurelius said, "You always own the option of having no opinion. You don't have to chase explanations that will never satisfy your soul. Closure is not given by others, it's created within you." Epictetus taught, "It's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them." You think understanding will erase the pain, but it rarely does. The truth is, if they couldn't be honest while they were close, they won't suddenly become honest once they're gone. Seneca wrote, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable."
Oh.
True closure is choosing peace over curiosity, accepting that silence can be an answer. You don't need their apology to forgive, or their explanation to move on. You need only your choice to stop waiting. Think of a storm. You don't stand in the rain demanding to know why it came. You step back, let it pass, and rebuild once the sky clears. Some people leave not out of malice, but confusion. Let them go without needing to understand the chaos that lives in them. You are not owed closure by anyone who couldn't offer clarity. What you owe yourself is the freedom to begin again. So tell yourself, I didn't get closure, but I got wisdom. I got strength. I got myself back. Stoic rule number 10. Choose freedom over fantasies. Sometimes we don't stay attached because the love was great, but because the fantasy felt better than the truth. We fall in love with potential, with the idea of who they could have been, not who they were. But the Stoics remind us, freedom begins where illusion ends. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you. But your judgment about it, pain of letting go, isn't from losing them. It's from losing the story you built around them." Reality, though harsh, will always be your greatest ally. Epictetus taught, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." You can't heal while clinging to a fantasy. When you accept the truth that they weren't ready, that their silence said enough, you'd stop waiting for what never existed. Freedom isn't found in holding on. It's found in release. Think of a house you once lived in. You can remember its warmth, but you don't stay standing at the door forever. You move forward because life demands it. The same goes for the heart. Can honor the memory, but it must choose to live again. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Letting go of the fantasy is that friction. It refines you. It transforms longing into wisdom, and illusion into clarity. So ask yourself, how many mornings have you spent replaying what never was? How much peace have you lost to a dream that didn't exist? The moment you stop asking if they'll return and start asking how to rebuild your life without them, you win. You're not meant to live in what if. You're meant to live in what is. Choose truth over illusion, presence over fantasy, freedom over waiting. Because real love never needs to be chased. It meets you where you already stand, free, grounded, and whole.